With me tonight on Question Time, Alistair Darling, Transport and Scottish Secretary, Teresa Villas, Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Art Malik, actor whose roles have ranged from Holby City to Jewel in the Crown, Christina Adoni, columnist for The Observer, and Nigel Farage, leader of the UK Independence Party members of the European Parliament. Well, welcome to this edition of Question Time from Milton Keynes. A question from Stacey French, please.
Do you think Lord Kinnock should go the full mile in implementing the metric system, or should I say 1.6 kilometres?
Yes, Neil Kinnock, as was, with typical brevity, said that using the old miles contradicts the image and reality of our country as a modern, multicultural, dynamic place. Teresa Villas, is he right we should abolish the mile and go to the kilometre? Or kilometre, I think we should probably...
No, he's completely wrong. That kind of conversion is unnecessary. People don't want it. Miles work perfectly well as a measurement. It would cost a lot of money to transfer over. And to be honest, the United States seem to manage quite well with miles. So if they can, I don't see why we can't.
Yeah, but they don't sell their petrol in litres like we do. And they don't have decimal points.
Are they crying out on the streets of Milton Keynes for metrication? No, they're not.
I don't know. Are you?
We've got...
Yes, somebody said. Anybody? No, right.
We've got far better things to spend our time and money on than metrication conversion.
Christina Adoni.
Yes, I have to say, I agree with Teresa. It's 700 million was the last estimate, and I think that that's a lot of money that we could invest elsewhere, namely in finishing up Wembley. But I think there was a gentleman up there who was talking before about the credibility of this nation, and that is something that we should consider as well. That when people come here, they say, "So, are you one of us, or are you still one of them?" And there is a bit of a split image that this country gives by maintaining this parallel system, the metric and the imperial. So at some point, I think we will have to decide, although £700 million sounds like a lot of money to spend on it.
Okay. Malik.
Well, I think it's very odd, isn't it? Because I keep thinking about the motorways when you're driving along the motorway and you get the 3 stripes and then the 2. What's going to happen if each one of those is going to have to be moved? Do you know, every sign in Britain will have to be changed. Why?
Alistair Darling.
You know, of all the complaints I get as Secretary of State for Transport, I don't think I've had a single one about the fact that we have road signs and miles. And, you know, if I had £600 or £700 million, because that's what it would cost to spend, I wouldn't spend it on sending a man round the country, painting out the mile signs and putting new kilometre signs up.
So what's got into Neil Kinnock?
Well, I don't... Actually, just so I'm not partisan, Lord Howe is in it as well.
Yes.
The two of them. I don't know what's. I just don't buy this.
It's a funny duet too, isn't it? Kinnock and Howe.
You never know what
happens. One very voluble and one rather quiet.
Well, I think the other one was voluble in his time too. But I mean, I don't actually think people come to this country and judge us on whether our road signs say kilometres or miles. They will judge us, hopefully, more on what we do, what we're like as a people. Now, I think this is, you know, it's a daft idea to spend this sort of money on doing something that I really don't think is going to make a blind bit of difference to people's perception of this country. And, you know, I can be very helpful and say we're not actually going to be doing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, OK, that's nice. You, sir. It's that knocked on the head, isn't it? You sir.
No,
yes. No, you. Yeah. The man here in the grey shirt. Yes.
Maybe they're making so much revenue from the speed cameras, they're looking for somewhere to invest it.
Wouldn't begin to look at it.
Nigel Farage.
Well, there's one thing for certain about this plan to change over our road signs from miles to kilometres, and that is that if Lord Kinnock is in favour of it, it's got to be a bad idea. Do you remember just a few years ago, there was a market trader from Sunderland, a chap called Steve Thoburn, who sadly died prematurely. And Steve Thoburn became a criminal, got a criminal record, because he had the audacity of selling a pound of bananas to an old lady. And why? because we're in something that was called the common market, that is now called a European Union, will very shortly be a United States of Europe, and we have to be harmonised, homogenised, pasteurised, and all turned into the same people. And I'm delighted, Alistair, that you're going to reject Lord Kinnock's advice on this, but could you please assure me that your government will do something about the fact that from the 1st of January 2010, it will be a criminal offence to even give supplementary indicators. It'll be a criminal offence to even use the pounds and ounces symbol on a grocer's stall. So if you're about to launch a campaign, and Gordon Brown keeps talking about Britishness, and surely weights and measures are part of our culture, will you assure me that you'll overturn that European directive so that it won't be a criminal offence from 2010 to use pounds and ounces?
There's a common sense argument about not spending money on painting out road signs, but I don't share your virulent dislike of everything in Europe and of kilograms and the rest of it. You know, the whole generation of people who are growing up who are perfectly used to it and can live
so
perfectly
it's okay
happy
then
with
that
it.
it'll be a criminal offence, is it? You're happy with that?
And I just don't share your virulent anti-Europeanism.
But what about sharing his view
I'm
that
for
we
pounds and
don't...
ounces. I want to keep pounds and ounces.
What about sharing the view that you shouldn't abolish pounds and ounces?
But, look, whether you like it or not,
Sorry, I don't like my tone of voice.
People are getting increasingly used to kilograms and so on. I don't say. I don't.
Should we have a choice?
My argument.
Should we have a choice?
My argument against the road signs is simply it just seems daft to be spending that money when it's not necessary. And don't share the sort of nasty anti-Europeanism that you're so associated with.
Hang on, what could be nastier than it being a criminal offence to use pounds and ounces on a grocer's stall? That's nasty, surely.